A very good evening, everyone. Hello, Altos. Great to see you. I hope you've had a good day today. And I've just seen in the comments that not everyone's had a good day. Just lots of love to you, Carol. Ever so sorry to read your news. And again, it just really shows me how special this choir is. And in fact, a lot of these online choirs, certainly when we have live chat, that someone can have a rotten day like that. And I really do send all my very best to you. I was made redundant from a job some years ago, and it sucks. There's no other way of putting it. It's not to say that the sun won't rise tomorrow and there won't be lovely, exciting things that come your way. But for now, that really sucks. But you can come into rehearsal and share that, and everybody is going to pop up and wish you well. And I think that's a very, very special thing, everyone. Now, everybody else, I hope you're having a good day. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. We're obviously not starting officially for another 8 minutes or so. And tonight is obviously the Alto rehearsal for week 3 for the Cappella Wonders course. Just checking you're in the right place at the right time. We'll be looking at the incredible Tallis If You Love Me tonight. It's so, so beautiful, deceptively easy to sing. Has some lovely, lovely moments for the altos. And then I've got a list. I have a little list, those of you who are familiar with GNS. And it has quite a lot of stuff to go through regarding the Allegri Miserere. So this is all feedback and things you folks have asked for, and so we will go through that list and make sure everything is covered, at least as best as we can. All right, and if we have any time left at the end, as we did with the sopranos yesterday, the plan is to sing through the Crucifixus and maybe even the Locus Iste, but we'll have to see. So a very good evening to everybody. Hello, Liz. Hello, Karen. Hopefuls well. Hello, and hello to another Liz, and hello Gina, and hello Kathy and Jenny and Sue, Paul and Nancy. Anything exciting happening in Bristol this week? Well, I mean, define exciting. When we moved to Bristol, it was a relatively quiet place, and over the last year, it's proven to be pretty much the centre of the known universe. What with Colston statue ending up in the harbour, we've had not one but 2 large industrial explosions within 2 or 3 miles, and the Brazilian variant. So it's very, very exciting. I don't think we've had anything else, but this is where someone will say, well, aliens landed 3 miles from where you are and you didn't notice. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, it is just grey and grisly. The rain is lashing the windows. The wind is howling. Perfect time to come indoors and sing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I do my sound check, I just need to do one quick thing, and I hope you'll bear with me, everybody. This is in no way relevant to tonight's rehearsal. This is just so when we create the conducting videos, you've got the appropriate thing at the start. So please ignore everything that's about to happen for the next 30 seconds. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking part in our recording video. And so if I could ask you to start your recording device now. Thank you very much. And if I could ask you to please clap with me, and if you could make sure we can hear that clap, we're going to clap after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy yourselves. There we are. Thank you, folks. That's all. From time to time, ladies and gentlemen, we have to do these fun little things so that we can chop them up and create a video that makes sense. And that means from time to time you have 2 things that don't necessarily make sense. But no, all is well. So what's happening with us? Well, Anna had her jab today. My wife has had her jab, her first one. I still haven't heard anything about it, but she has. She needs it, and so that's great. So she is now at least protected with a sore arm. The children are both all right. Bobby today, my son, had a nice day at school, came home, told me all about his new reading book. My daughter Katie has been in at school all day today, so it's very nice. And yes, did everyone clap? Thank you very much indeed, everybody, for clapping along. It was just the single clap. All right, just the one. I sometimes do that with an audience. I say, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm about to say is not worthy of applause. But if you want to acknowledge it, should we all just clap together at the end? Okay, thank you very much indeed. 1, 2, 3. The single solitary clap of disapproval. So I just need enough wishing for now. I just need to quickly check that the sound is working. So first of all, let's check the magnificent acoustic of Patchway Cathedral. Marvellous. Let's check the organ is in tune. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong one. Bear with me a moment. Hold the wrong stop. Okay. Splendid. Excellent. So I think everything's working. Just quickly check the recording. So here's a bit of If You Love Me. Take it away, altos. You can do a bit louder, I think. Oh, so beautiful. And obviously we have the Allegri and everything else ready. Marvellous. Well, that's great. So, hello to, who haven't I said hello to yet? Hello, Maggie. Lovely to see you. Christine, hope Anna doesn't get a reaction. Well, absolutely. But even if it is, it's better to get the jab, isn't it? And I'm sure you would all agree. Thanks ever so much for that. Hello, Mary. Great to hear about the jabs. Sure, the children are loving being back at school. They very much are. And I really feel for them. For all it sounds great when you're a school child and there's not a pandemic on, oh, you don't have to go to school for a year and you get to stay home and learn at home. Sounds great. In practice, though, oh, goodness me, it's been a bit of a trial. So having them be able to go and spend time with their friends, as I said to them the other day, it's given them a chance to miss us a bit. It's a bit like that pastiche grass, was it bluegrass country and western song. It's not a real one, but it's called How Can I Miss You If You Won't Go Away. Now then, okay, good. Hello, Lindsay. Hello, Terry. Hello, Bronwyn. Hello, Susanna. Great to see everyone. How are we doing? 153 people online. Don't forget the like button, folks. If you like what we do, it doesn't cost you a thing, not a penny, and it's like a little pat on the back for us here at the choir. And similarly, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I think we're up to 560. There's well over 900 people on the course, I think, from what I understand. So maybe we could get those subscribers up as well. I don't know if we'll make it to 1,000 on this channel, but who knows? Would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Fabulous. Suzanne is looking forward to going to school next Monday. Hooray! Excellent. Mary says, my children aren't going back until after Easter. My goodness me. Mind you, Easter is only a couple of weeks away, really, isn't it? It's 2-3 weeks. So, yeah, we'll be used to them being back and then they'll be home again. Nikki says, my mother would argue that having a 35 and 23-year-old still at home is worse. Yeah, I think I'd agree with you. At least I can attempt to send my children to bed. Not sure it works necessarily. Now, a lot of people have said that they're sad that this is the last alto rehearsal. And do bear in mind, you're more than welcome to come along to all the rehearsals. So come along to tenor and bass tomorrow. But then that will be the end of just this short course. But please don't forget that I'll be back here this time next week. And we'll be learning Messiah. Okay. And if you sang it with us last year, well, it's going to be even better than last year because our starting point is where we got to at the end of last year. And there's all sorts of new things that we're going to be introducing, just showing everything we've learned over the last year. And the recording in May is going to be amazing. So just a little plug there for that. And just on that, folks, it's 5 o'clock. We need to get started. So do please, as I say, keep chatting all throughout the rehearsal if you want to. It's a big part of what makes this very, very special. But everybody, we need to get started. So could I invite you, please, to make the sound and to wiggle your fingers. Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's rehearsal. It is the alto rehearsal in week 3 of the A Cappella Wonders course. And we've worked hard, albeit for a short space of time, to produce these wonderful, wonderful pieces. The Allegri Miserere, Lottis Crucifixus, Locus Iste by Bruckner. Now, tonight, we have one more piece to cover, and that is If You Love Me by Thomas Tallis. Once we've had a look at that, we're then going to be diving back into the other pieces that we looked at, in particular that Allegri Miserere, and just making sure that we are all happy with everything. So you've given me some really rather useful notes, and I'm going to cover them all. All right, everyone. So just to say, please make sure you've got everything you need for the session. I don't anticipate, hopefully, that we're going to overrun. So please make sure you've got a good drink of water, your phone's on silent, and just enjoy, please, everybody. So let's do a bit of a warm-up, please, if you don't mind, if you would stand for me and just plant those feet shoulder-width apart. And as always, those of you who aren't up for standing tonight for whatever reason, don't worry about it, but give yourself a straight back as well and a nice long neck, everybody. Thank you. And let's take a couple of deep breaths in and out, just in your own time. People are talking in the comments about how during Messiah we're swapping the alto and tenor rehearsals around, so it'll be sopranos on a Tuesday, tenors then on a Wednesday, altos on a Thursday, basses on a Friday. It spells stab, which is how I'm going to remember it. We're going to have a really good stab at Messiah is the way I'm going to remember it. Okay, anyway, so we're taking nice deep breaths in and out, rolling those shoulders round, please, everyone. Splendid. And once you roll them in one direction, as always, roll them back the other way, please. Lovely. And then bring them up to your ears. Deep breath. And as you sigh, let your shoulders fall. Wonderful. Wonderful. Mark is just shouting stab in all caps in the comments, which is a little bit alarming, but that's fine. It's fine. Let's roll our head around a little bit. Just stretch those muscles out, please, everybody. Great. And just roll them around a little bit more. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, everyone, so let's do a little bit of humming, and I think we'll revert to the piano for now. Okay, so we'll start on the C there, please, altos. A nice, rich sound, nice deep breath, and let's hum together. Here we go. I think we'll step into the hall for a bit of acoustic. And again. And again. Lovely. In fact, I think I might sing at your pitch. Okay, so then I'll change to an ooh. Here we go. And ooh. Lovely. And again. Ooh. And an ah. And oh. And again. Oh. And ah. Lovely, and just a couple of ma-mas with me. First of all, ma-ma-ma with me. Ma-ma-ma. One more. Ya-ya-ya. And thank you. Well done. And yes, it is on the record. I am not going to sing a top D at the alto register on a live stream. You don't need to hear that, and I certainly don't need to attempt it. Okay, well done, everybody. Thanks so much for singing with me with that one. Have a quick sip of your drink. Hydration is so important. Thank you. Whoever had 4 minutes past 5 in the sweepstakes, there you are. Okay. Now then, everyone, if I could ask you please to grab the score for If Ye Love Me by Thomas Tallis. Thank you very much indeed. I'm just going to get my copy of this. Marvellous. Now, just a couple of quick bits about this. As I said on Monday, this piece is very much reflective of the Anglican style of composing. That idea for each syllable, one clean, pure note. So very little melisma, where you have more than one note per syllable. Amen, that sort of idea. You also notice there's a very sort of almost a wholesome approach to the harmony. We don't have a huge amount of chromaticism, which admittedly would be unusual for the time. And the whole thing is designed to be sung with a beautiful, beatific smile. Now, one other thing before we crack on, you'll notice as we sing through, particularly if you were here yesterday, or if you're glancing at the line above yours, that the soprano line has the same range as the alto line. And in fact, at the end of the piece, really from, is it bar 23 to the end, the alto line is above that of the soprano. Now, the reason for this is this work was originally written a fourth lower, okay, quite a lot lower, in the key of C. So, if ye love me, keep my commandments, down there. And so that would have been for a low bass, a tenor, and 2 countertenors, okay, of equal register. And so what happens when we transpose this up so that ladies' voices can sing more easily is it just means the sopranos were all complaining yesterday that it was a bit on the low side, and I suspect a few of you might think the end is a little bit on the high side. Let's see what happens. Now, in terms of the structure, the piece is in what we call ABB form. So we sing the first page once and we sing the second page twice. This is very typical of the style again. So let's make a start at the beginning, a very good place, as they say, to start. I think I'll use my chapel organ sound. Lovely. And I think I might turn the acoustic on as well. Okay, so the first line here, altos, starts on a C, and it rises, and then it sort of meanders. All right, now we're going to sing this in a moment. I'll sing it for you. Just notice what I do with my mouth in terms of making the sounds nice and tall. Okay, because if you sing, if you love me, keep my commandments, you're not letting all that lovely sound out. And one of the key parts of singing a cappella is making the full use of the acoustic, whether it's singing softly or whether it's pushing your voice to the very, very limits of the space. Now, of course, we're in a virtual space, so there are no limits, as they say. So let's just have a look at this first. So I'll sing this line for you from the beginning. It goes, if ye love me, keep my commandments. Okay, now the first note is 3 beats. The note on me, again, is 3 beats, even though it looks like 2 notes there joined together, so that's 3 beats, and ments is 4. All right, let's try that together. 2, 3, 4. If ye love me, keep my commandments. Splendid. Well done. Thank you, altos. You now have a little bit of a break whilst the sopranos and tenors set off just a couple of beats apart, and I will pray the Father. We come in altos in bar 7, and our line sounds like this. So it's after 1 and 1. And I will pray the Father. Okay, just that little bit, starting in bar 7. Listen to it again. And 1. And I will pray. Okay, now you'll notice that the note on pray is 2 beats, and again on Father it's two notes that are the same with that curved line. That means they're tied together, and they're worth 2 beats, and you sing through that bar line, something like this. Have a go, sing with me from bar 7. 3, 4, 1. And I will pray the Father. So we sing across the bar line and grow through it ever so slightly. All right, now carrying on from there, and he shall give you another comforter. Starts on the note we finished on, so this is the last note of bar 9, and it goes 2, 3. And he shall give you another comforter. Ran out of air there, so I'll try that again. Sing it with me. And he shall give you, after 3, 1, 2, 3. And he shall give you another comforter. Lovely. Now you notice the first real use of melisma in the song is on the word comforter, which makes sense. It's all lovely and warm and enriching. So let's sing that first page, shall we please, alto, starting on the C. If ye love me. Any sopranos here? That's your starting note. Tenors, basses, if you'd like to sing along, but altos, it's all about you tonight. So let's sing with the keyboard here from the start. After 4, 2, 3, 4. If ye love me, keep my commandments. And I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter. Great. Well done, altos. Thank you. And do bear in mind, this is all supposed to be sung with that lovely smile. And remember, the smile, the whole point of the smile is multifaceted. It's not just about making you look like you're enjoying yourselves, which is, of course, what conductors desperately want audiences to think. It's also about you feeling the enjoyment of it. When you smile, it's quite hard at times, if you're singing, to feel down. So get that smile on your face, sing, and it'll rub off. The other thing, of course, is that it has a huge impact on your singing. Smiling, particularly when you let the smile touch your eyes, will really help your intonation. So it'll help the tuning of your singing, and also creates that lovely bright sound that Nigel was asking for. So Big smiles, please, everybody, as we sing. Thank you, altos. Okay, now we now move on to the second section, the B section here. That he may bide with you forever, with you forever. Let's have a little listen to this. So we start on an F. Now, the good news is that the tenors will give us that note. That he, their first note of page 2 is our first note. So we come in after 2 on that note. It's 1, 2. That he may bide with you forever, with you forever. All right, let's sing that one more time. A bit of acoustic always helps with this. All right, and the thing is with an acoustic, just to say, if you have the capacity when you're singing along with these tracks to introduce a little bit of this reverb, and some of you will be able to do that, it really helps your singing. You get just that little bit of extra feedback as you sing along. Now, for some of you, this isn't going to be possible, and we may have to look at this as a choir, see if we can help you with it. But if you have the facility to sing along with a bit of reverb, it really does help. Okay, anyway, so let's sing from that T, top of page 2, all the way through that top line. Here we go. So after 2, 1, 2. That he may bide with you forever, with you forever. Okay, splendid. Thank you. Now we carry straight on. The note on ever is 2 beats. We then come straight in on an in the spirit of truth. And if you remember on Monday I was talking about this, we don't sing in the spirit. Okay, we sing in the spirit. Okay, I know it sounds, as I said, it sounds like a knockoff fizzy drink. Okay, but we sing 1, 2, in the spirit of truth. Okay, and here the rhythm is a little bit more tricky than what we've had before, but still nothing compared to some of the music we've looked at this year. Listen to it again. In the spirit. 1, 2. In the spirit of truth. Okay, so it's in the spirit of truth. Okay, the note on in is 2 beats. The note on spirit is 2 beats. Okay, and then the note on of is 1.5. So in the spirit of truth. All right, sing that with me one more time, Altus, then we'll move on. Ready? 1, 2. In the spirit of truth. Very nice. We then have a beat to rest, and we then carry on, and it's 2, 3. In the spirit of truth. Just that on its own. Okay, let's sing that together. This is the last note of bar 21. Ready? 1, 2, 3. In the spirit of truth. Lovely, lovely stuff. Well done. Now, this is where we flip the switch and we become kind of alto sopranos at this point, because you take over the tune here, altos, and we sing. This is the second note in bar 23. See if I got the C this evening. So it's 1. In the spirit of truth, in the spirit of truth. It really helps to smile with the eyes. So listen to that again from 23, second note, and 1. Spirit of truth, in the spirit of truth. 2, 3, 4, off. All right, let's sing that together, shall we please, alto? So this is going from the second note of bar 23, from that C. All right, nice deep breath. After 1, 3, 4, 1. In the spirit of truth, in the spirit of truth. Lovely, well done. So let's sing, shall we please, altos, from the top of the page, from bar 14 to the end, and we'll do this the second time. And just for those who are still learning to read music, as I said on Monday, just to draw your attention to the start of page 2, which is that thick line just before the notes and the tenors and basses with the 2 dots. That means that's the start of the repeated section. So from the first time you sing page 2, you sing all the way down to the bottom to that penultimate bar, which has the first time bar above it. So you sing to there, then you go back up to the top, you sing all the way to the bottom of the page. You disregard the first time bar, you jump over it and you sing the second time bar instead. So we're going to sing the second time through, and then we'll sing it with the chorus, okay, with Tenebrae. What an honour. Okay, so there's our note there, altos. Any tenors and basses that want to start at the beginning of page 2? There are your notes. Ready? So 1, 2. That he may bide with you forever, with you forever, in the spirit of truth, in the spirit of truth, in the spirit of truth, in the spirit of truth. Apologies for that. See, that was grotty. I'm going to have a sip of drink and we'll sing it much better again in a minute. Sorry about that, ladies. Excuse me. Right, so let's do that just one more time, because I'm not happy to sing it through after that. One more time, from the same place. Top of page 2. Here we go. 1, 2. That he may bide with you forever, with you forever, in the spirit of truth, in the spirit of truth, in the spirit of truth, in the spirit of truth. That's a bit better. Can't beat a bit of hydration, can you, ladies? Okay, marvellous. So let's sing it all the way through from the start now. Of course, we have this fantastic resource of the one voice louder parts. Do use these. Remember, they're all saved for you. You can come back and watch these as many times as you like, and make sure you're happy with this lovely piece before you sing it. I personally think it would be quite useful once you've gotten used to the sound of the one voice louder. Well, sing it through a couple of times with the full choir and just make sure you're happy with it before you record it. Because this is one of those pieces like Locus Iste, deceptively simple. And you think, well, you know, it's quite straightforward, but one note out of place will unfortunately stick out rather a lot. So make sure you're happy with it before you record it. But mercifully, it's only a couple of minutes. So let's sing it all the way through from the start. So soprano note is here. Now alto, we are on a C, tenor and bass. Okay, but it's mostly about the alto tonight. Okay, everyone? So take a nice deep breath, and here we go. Deep breath.
And I will pray the Father, and He shall give you another Comforter.
1, 2. done, everyone. Isn't that just gorgeous? So, so beautiful. Imagine being one of four singers standing in almost in the darkness in an ancient English country home in the time of Thomas Tallis, so the 16th century, singing this music, one voice to a part, probably standing in a drawing room from one of these amazing scores, which is a large square, and each corner has the music for the bass, the soprano, the alto, and so on, but all pointing towards the singer. So we're all standing around looking at the same score, all singing together. Just imagine that feeling of camaraderie, and who'd have thought that 500 years later we would all be singing this, nearly 600 years later we would be singing this all together on the internet. Unbelievable, absolutely amazing. Right, ladies and gentlemen, now we need to move on and have a look at some Allegri now, everyone, please. So if you could grab the music for the Allegri, thank you very much indeed. And of course you were taught this piece by one of the world's greatest conductors, Nigel Short, who, well, his choir, Tenebrae, you might have heard of them. Um, if you put Allegri Miserere into Google, the top hit, in fact, the top three hits are all Tenebrae. Similarly, Lotti Crucifixus, the top three hits are all Tenebrae. And so when we were discussing this course, there was no doubt in my mind that the person to teach this was Nigel. So if you've only watched Nigel's video on this the once, can I suggest watch it again and maybe even a third time, because I know it's a lot to take in, but there's such a lot of information. It's really, really valuable stuff. I was saying on Monday, if you've ever been along to a choral course run by a big name, I was lucky enough to work to do a workshop with David Wilcox many years ago. You never forget these amazing days with these fantastic musicians, but you come out and they've been talking to you for 6-8 hours, and everything they've said, you've gone, wow, that's amazing. And you get in the car and it's, that was incredible. I learnt such a lot. Like what? And you go, and you can't remember it. This way, it's all saved for you. All right. So that's the first thing to say. Make sure you've watched all of Nigel's video and you've noted everything he said. Now, that being said, there are still some bits and pieces that people wanted a bit of help with, which is absolutely fine. It's what I'm here for, folks. So let's have a little look at your list. And this is very much your list. So apologies if there's any stuff that I go over and you think, well, I know that already. I'm sure you'll be patient as we go through it, because of course this is just about making sure everybody is as happy as possible so we can get everyone who wants to recording. All right. So now look, the first thing to look at is actually the last page, everyone. Can we all turn to the very, very last page of this wonderful Allegri, which is page 11, everybody, all right? Page 11. And honestly, across all four sections, this last page is the one that I've had the most requests to look at. And on the soprano rehearsal yesterday, out of the, nearly 24 requests, a full half of them were all about this last page. Now, there's a very good reason for that. Everything up until this last page, the full choir, the chant, and the semi-chorus, it's the same three musical ideas just repeating round and round and round and round. And then you get to the last page and it's completely different. It's new musical material brought in at the very last minute, which it's if you think about it, it's a bit like watching a movie, a really, really engrossing movie with lots and lots of themes. And then the last scene is set with completely different actors in a completely different place. And you kind of think, oh, hang on, what? And I think that's what's happening here. And the other thing, of course, is you're changing texture from singing in 4 parts and 5 parts to singing in 9 parts. So both choirs come together. And just to make it really clear, because again, I've had some queries about this. When you're singing in 5 parts, SSATB, that is effectively full choir. When you're singing in 4 parts, SSAB, that's a semi-chorus, usually. Okay. And what we see on this last page, if you just look down from the top, if you look along just the left-hand side of the page, you see where the initials of each part are. You have SSATB, SSAB. So the top 5 lines are the full choir, and then the bottom 4 lines are the semi-chorus part. Now, the sopranos have got quite a lot to look at on this page because there's 4 soprano parts. Altos, there are only the 2, and it's entirely up to you which you want to sing. If you're recording it twice, as some people are, and singing different parts, you might want to sing alto in choir 1 at one point, alto in choir 2 and the other one. It's entirely up to you. What we're going to do is I'm going to take you through the first alto part, that is the third line down first, and then we'll look at the other alto part, which is the eighth line down, or second up from the bottom. All right. So we start on an E flat here. Okay, tunc imponent super altare tuum vitulos, and this is slower. Okay, notice this last page is slower, and your line sounds like this, altos. It's 3, 4. Tunc imponent super altare tuum vitulos. Okay, I'll play that quickly, but basically it is just a D over and over and over and over again, with a little bit of decoration. There's a neat couple of E flats and a G, but it's basically hammering that D. So it's starting E flat. Tunc imponent super altare tuum vitulos. All right, so let's sing that together. The first note is 3 beats, tonk, and then the note on po is 2 beats. Otherwise, it's all 1 beat, so the first 3 bars. Let's sing together, okay? 2, 3, 4. Tunc imponent super altare tuum vitulos. Apologies at the end, I was just distracted by a really good question. Coletta's asked how many beats in the 2-2 bar. Okay, so on this last page, the minim. Now the minim is the white note with the tail. Okay, you can see a good example of that in each of the bars. And if you look at the first bar on the page, it's the second note. Okay, it's the white blob with the line. Each of those on this page is worth 1 beat. Okay, so it's tunc imponent super altare tuum. So it is 2 beats, Colette, and then vitulos. All right, obviously moving glacially compared to that, but that's the rhythm of it. So if I give you a note, altos, what we're going to do now is we're actually going to sing along with Tenebrae, and we're going to jump in. So this bit starts at 6 minutes and 42, those of you who are interested in that sort of thing. So I'm just going to scroll through till around there, and then we'll sing it. So here we are, there's your note, alto. So let's sing this last page, please. Nice deep breath, and... Splendid. Well done. That's it. And of course, I've just seen Lisa's reminded us that we have posted just today, I believe, some new one voice louder parts for this last page, just in case you're still finding it tricky after today. All right, everyone. So that was the third line down. That's the alto in the main choir part. And then at the bottom of the page, this is bar 97 still, but we're going to look at the second line up from the bottom, or the 8th line down if you prefer, also marked alto. And this one starts, I'll go back to the organ sound, I think. This one starts on a G. Okay, so the high alto there's on an E flat, and we start on a G here, alto in the semi-chorus. And your line goes like this: 2, 3, 4. Tunc imponent super altare tuum vitulos. All right, now you're one of the parts that gets a little twiddle at the end, and you get to sing in that last 4th beat. which is a nice little privilege. Everyone else is holding the note, but you and the tenors in choir 1 get to sing the little beat just before the bar change there. So let's have a look at that again. And we'll sing it at double speed just so we're not here all night. So it is 2, 3, 4. Tunc imponent super altare tuum fitulos. Splendid. Well done. And notice just before we sing that with the choir, just notice in the third to last bar, in that 2-2 bar we were talking about, notice the V comes in earlier than everybody else. So you have to get rid of that note. V, and start singing earlier and sing through the bar line to give us that sense of sort of anticipating the chord. And what you're creating there, if you remember from the very first session that we did together a couple of weeks ago, is that suspension. It's a lovely, lovely moment, so enjoy it. So let's sing it all the way through, please. Just with me in the organ and then with the choir, please, everyone. 2, 3, 4. Tunc imponent super altare tuum Lovely stuff. That's great. So let's sing that one more time with Tenebrae. And there's still some other bits to look at in this wonderful work, but this was the main event. Okay, so there's your note, altos. Just in case anyone wants to sing along with the other alto part we learnt just a minute ago. There's the note, but this is the one for this alto part, starting in bar 97, and it is the second line up from the bottom of the page. Okay, everyone, here we go. And nice deep breath, and... Bravo. Thanks so much, altos. Well done. That's great. Have a quick sip of drink, please, everyone. I've just seen Stephanie's comment. Don't Americans don't say twiddle. I like it, and I'll be using it when I go back to my choirs. Well, there you are. It's we're an international organisation sharing these particular Britishisms with the world. Okay, marvellous. Cheers, everyone. Okay, so let's have a look at the other bits and pieces I've been asked to explore. So let's go back to what's the earliest one here. I've got some general things here. So explanations of why the last page is written as such, and this, as I've just said, this is where the two choirs, the 5-voice choir and the 4-voice choir, come together and sing in 9 parts. So that's what that's about. Nigel talked a little bit about where he'd like a crescendo, but I'm confused about whether there's an accompanying decrescendo within each verse, or do we sustain the volume until the end of each verse and start quietly? Okay, with something like this, and in fact with a cappella music in general, rather than thinking of it as great big chunky blocks of dynamics, think of everything as having a lovely curved shape. So you'll generally grow towards the middle of a phrase and then pull back at the end. Notice the end of the allegro we just sang. Fitulos. It was phrased beautifully. So I'd say where Nigel asked for a crescendo, there will be a natural decrescendo towards the end of the section, whichever section it is that you're recording. Now, obviously one of the tricky things as we're recording with modern devices, which all have software in it called compressors, and what that does is, it's the same when you're driving in your car and you're listening to the radio and you're listening to classical music, as I'm sure you all do, and it gets to a quiet bit. Well, in order so that you don't turn the radio up to listen, and then when it comes in with a big crash like Mahler 2 or something, that you don't drive off the road. They use compression, and it makes the loud bits, makes the quiet bits louder and the loud bits quieter. Okay, and our phones have all got these in as well. So it's one of the things that we're still thinking about in terms of this online singing stuff. But just be aware that if you crescendo, don't get too close to your phone, because your phone will naturally want to amplify it. Okay, and if you're diminuendo, don't get too quiet, or again, your phone will naturally want to amplify it. Those of you who record using microphones won't have the same problem, but if you're using a phone or a tablet, I think the best advice is just to stand a fairly decent distance away, so you're not singing right into the microphone. And just sing normally, crescendo, diminuendo, and we'll handle the rest, I think, is the best way to look at it. Now, lots of people asking about the time signatures, and we are going to be looking at a couple of specific moments. The thing I want you to really all fully understand is that this piece was never written down with any time signatures at all. Okay, we're used to using time signatures because we're used to grouping beats in a certain way and in a repetitive pattern, because that is what we've grown up doing. That is what Western classical music has evolved, this idea that when you see 4/4 at the start, right, until that changes 1, 2, 3, 4, we're in that meter. Of course, musical traditions around the world don't observe this. You can change meter from one bar to the next. You don't even need to have bars in many musical traditions. And when this was written, you certainly wouldn't have. If we just take, for example, if everyone could look at where's the one that everyone wanted help with, pages 5 and 6. If we could all turn to that one for me, please, everyone. Ecce enim veritatem dilexi. That bit. Lots of queries about that one. The thing is, you wouldn't have had the notes. Allegri wouldn't have written out ecce enim veritatem with the individual notes. There would have just been a single breve, that is to say, a single empty white note with the lines either side to indicate this note lasts as long as the bar, with the chant written underneath. And so the fact that we've got these time signatures is really just to help the choir, but is in no way authentic. Now, that being said, they are there. They're supposed to help us. So the thing is, think of them more as, think of them as a guide rail rather than as a train track to lead us. Okay, they're there to guide you towards the next bar, but you need to have a bit of flexibility to allow the feel of the chant to proceed. Let me just explain about this next bit, and hopefully that'll make a bit more sense. Now, lots of people have asked about the alto part at bar 46, ecce enim veritatem dilexi. And so what I'm going to do is to go through this section from bar 46 to bar 60, and just pick out the bits that people have asked about, and I hope that will clear up many of the other questions. So we're starting here at 46, all right, and you're on a G, the bass is on a G, and the sopranos, we're going to disregard them for now, okay? No offence to any sopranos who are here. Okay, and so we sing ecce enim veritatem dilexi, and so on, okay? And the reason it's been written out like that is that Nigel, who commissioned this score, wants that to just proceed in a fairly standard chant, okay? We're not going to put in any triplets, any sort of squeezing extra notes into the space. Ecce enim veritatem di. All right, say that with me, everyone. Ecce enim veritatem di. Okay, you say it and you allow one note to follow the other. We're not going to stretch them out. They just think of them as dominoes. Ecce enim veritatem di. All right, let's sing it together. And ecce enim veritatem dilex. Exactly. Brilliant. Now, the notes from dilex is dilexi. Okay, and there, just at the end of bar 50, we have another one of Stephanie's favourite words. We have another twiddle, okay, just for the altos, and it's a very, very important twiddle because it is the it resolves the suspension. Now, the tricky thing with this is those of you that are used to reading these crotchets or quarter notes, as they say in the States, these black notes with the lines, and thinking of them as a beat, is you suddenly come across this and you think, well, this is far too many beats to count. As I said, we're thinking of minims as the beat, okay? That is the 2 beat notes that you'd normally see are 1 beat, and therefore these black notes for the line is half a beat effectively. So What that means is that your long note on D Lex C, which starts in bar 48, the last note there, and is tied to the next full bar and then is tied into the next bar, that long note is worth 8. And then you put that little twiddle just at the end. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to go from D Lex, starting in 46. So it's 3, 4. D Lex C, E, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is D. Okay, let's try that one more time. Sing it with me. Let's go from Ecce Enim this time. Ecce, ready? And Ecce Enim venitatem dilexi. E, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is D. Okay, it also makes a lot of sense when you listen to the rest of the choir because you have that second soprano part which you answer. Okay, it'll, as I say, when we sing it along with the choir in a minute, hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense. Now, this next bar, bar 52, again, there's a whole string of help us with this bar, please. It doesn't make sense, lots of people have said, because there's 9 notes in one bar. And I can completely understand why this is causing problems for people, because you can't, in Western classical music, fit more beats in a bar than there are in the time signature. It's just not allowed, except when you're chanting, and that's exactly what's happening here. Normally you would just see a single note written in this bar with those words written underneath, and when you get to the end, sapientia, you move on. This has been written out in a slightly more slightly more legible sense. Now, what I would do, if I were you, I would think of the first note of incerta there as an anacrusis, okay? And an anacrusis is simply an upbeat. 1, 2, 3, in chair, okay? And so you're going to go, where's our note? So we're going to go, incerta et occulta sapientiae tuae manifestasti. So if you think of it as an upbeat, incerta et occulta sapientiae tuae manifesta. I don't know if that helps. We try it. After 4, 3, 4. Incerta et occulta sapientiae tuae manifestasti. Okay, I think that makes it a little bit more, I think it chimes a little bit more with the way our brains work in the 21st century. If it helps you, hopefully it does. So why do we sing? Why do we sing with the choir from bar 46, from 3 minutes 15 in? All right, everybody. Oh, hang on. In bar 48, Nigel suggested not taking a breath between the 2 Gs, but then I get a bit lost with the timing as the soloist takes a breath there. Fine. Well, if that's what Nigel says, that's not a problem. Please listen to Nigel's advice. If he doesn't want you to take a breath, that's probably sensible, but watch me when I conduct you. And then when you're on that long G, remember the technique, fade out, take a nice deep breath, fade your voice back in, and we won't notice, and the engineers will be able to mix that, and it'll sound absolutely lovely. Okay? Now then, so let's sing together from bar 46, please, everyone. This is 3 minutes and 15 seconds through the recording. We'll just have the last little bit of the tenors, and then we're in. So you'll note this there, altos, and let's sing it together. Here we go. And four, 5, 6, 7, 8. And incerta et occulta sapientiae tuae manifestasti. Wonderful stuff. So, as I say, I hope that helps. I've done my best to answer the questions that you've had about that. Let me just see if there's anything else. Now, okay. So, I think that one of the main worries with this one is just that worry of miscounting when we're used to singing everything with a really regular beat, and now here we have to be really very aware of what everyone else is doing. And actually, it is a little bit like taking the training wheels off your bike. You know, if you're used to seeing everything with a really rigid beat, I mean, Messiah, which by the way is starting next week, I don't know if I mentioned it, Messiah, you know, everything proceeds with a nice solid pulse. So even if you glance down, when you look up, chances are the conductor's still going to be in the same place. With this, you have to be really into the flow of the music, and you have to be fully engaged with Nigel. And for some of us, that means we're going to have to put in a little bit of extra rehearsal, but the results will be worth it. Okay, honestly, the sound that the choir, well, that Tenebrae makes is unbelievable. Just imagine what SIC is going to sound like singing this all together. So I would say the first thing is, make sure you enjoy yourself. That is the most important thing. It is supposed to be fun, everybody. Secondly, watch Nigel's videos really carefully, particularly the conducting videos that he has made specifically for each voice part. And then, as I was saying on Monday, the tricky thing I always found with this one isn't the main bulk of the verses and the choruses. Once you're past that first bar, I don't want to say it sings itself, but it does settle into a recognisable pattern. It's the openings of each of the verses. You know, is this ecce enim veritatem, or is this tibi soli peccavi, or is this benigne fac domine, you know, whichever verse it is. And it's worth spending just a few moments, folks, just singing through those opening bars and just making sure those are really, really solid. All right, everybody. Now let me just double check that I've gone through everything. So it was bar 97, yes, bar 97, bars 47 and 48. Somebody also asked for 79 and 80. Certainly, very happy to help. So that again, that's the same issue. That's Z, E, E, E. So we're not going to breathe between the two G's. And if we look there, this is the bottom of page 8. So it's benigne factomine. So benigne factomine in bona voluntate tua. So that long note again in bars 79 and 80 and 81. The long note on Z is again, it's 8 beats in total. And now, just to say, just on counting this long note, if you count 8, you'll get it in the right place, but of course you'll be counting on weird beats of the bar. So if you think of it as 8 beats, but it is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then there's your twiddle. Okay, whichever way you think of it, it is 8 beats, but it's how you want to frame it in your mind. And the other thing is anything else? Bar 52, which is 9 crotchets we've done, and how to count properly so I don't miss the twiddly bit in bar 50. Well, there we are. I hope that has helped everybody. Okay, everybody. So now we have time. I'm delighted to say to sing through the other 2 pieces that we have in the bag. So can I ask you please to grab a locus iste for me? Thanks very much indeed, altos. Actually, no. Crucifixus, please. Let's finish tonight with a locus iste. Let's finish with a lovely, friendly, smiley piece. So we'll sing Crucifixus, if you don't mind, please, altos. Sorry to muck you around slightly. I'm sure you don't mind. As I said on Monday, this one has been a huge, huge hit. I think everyone absolutely loves it. And remember, if you want to record both alto parts, we will be delighted with that. I have in mind that we may well end up with the largest and most substantial recording of the Crucifixus ever recorded. It's only a small thing, you know. We don't aim that high. So as you remember, of course, the second bass starts the first, then the tenor, and so on. So alto 2 comes in bar 5 and alto 1 in bar 6. So whichever part you'd like to sing, please feel free to sing along with it tonight and enjoy. Here we go, everyone. Here's Crucifixus. Oh my goodness me. Oh, just sheer bliss, isn't it? So beautiful. And as I've said already on this channel, when composers set Crucifixus, if you listen to Bach's setting of it, it's so violent and so devastating. This is just it's still devastating, but it's beautiful. And I think it is much more about the sacrifice than it is about the death itself, which I think is the point. Beautifully done, and I can't wait to hear you sing that, everyone. So let's finish today with Locus Iste, please, everybody. The absolute classic setting of this. I know other people have written other versions of it. I see a certain conductor has come out with another version of it. This is the version of it. Anton Bruckner's Locus Iste. This place is made by God. It is inestimable. This is beyond reproof. And as I've been saying all the way through, I still believe that the online virtual space is perhaps the largest choral space the world has ever seen. We're creating something completely new. So as I sing this, as I conduct it, I'm thinking about the huge international hall that the Self-Isolation Choir sings in, and I would invite you to do the same, altos. So I'm going to give you your notes. So any basses in the room? There you are. Tenors, sopranos, but most importantly tonight, altos. Let's sing Locus Iste, everybody. All right, enjoy yourselves, and just gonna make sure I'm set up over here. Okay, lovely. Nice deep breath, and oh, excuse me, sorry. Now, the thing about Tenebrae, they're very, very good indeed, but sometimes they don't watch. Should we try that again? Nice deep breath. And... Wonderful. Thank you so much, Altos. I really, really hope you've enjoyed the teaching for this course. Of course, the course is not over, because you still have the small matter of recording this. Those of you that are happy to do that for us, then thank you in advance for all that hard work. And then a dress rehearsal, a performance with Nigel, and a full performance with me still to come. So still huge amounts to look forward to on this course of a cappella wonders. If you're around tomorrow, we love seeing you. Please come along and help me with the tenors, and of course the basses on Friday. And as I've been saying, folks, if you're thinking, well, what am I going to do with myself next week? Well, Handel's Messiah. Ladies and gentlemen, Handel's Messiah, that wonderful, incredible, monolithic work. We are starting it again next week. We're going to be singing with the Self-Isolation Choir and Orchestra, and we are going to be creating a brand new recording starting on Monday next week. And if you don't fancy that, do consider having a look at our summer school. If you've really enjoyed our a cappella course, well, there's a lot of gorgeous music that will be very reminiscent, as well as a huge amount of fun. There's pieces by Morton Lauridsen, there's wonderful, wonderful Russian music by Rachmaninoff, and there's Carmina Burana, a bit of O Fortuna. There's some John Rutter. There's something in there for everyone. So lots and lots to look forward to, but we still have these incredible choral wonders to enjoy. So do enjoy recording them for us, and I'll look forward to seeing you very, very soon for our rehearsal and concert. And in the meantime, as I say, do consider popping along to another rehearsal this week, because we love seeing you. So take care, everyone. Look forward to seeing you soon, and all the very best. Bye-bye, folks.